So I'm going to show you today how to car top a kayak, a fishing kayak, on a Grand Highlander. The Grand Highlander came out in 2024, so there are not a lot of attachments available yet to allow you to easily put a kayak on the top of your car. The elevator is not available yet. I called up the manufacturer. They don't know when it's going to be available. And that's because of the roof racks are kind of hidden. And but you can get crossbars, which I did from Toyota, and they will fit. I actually purchased it when I purchased the car, so they put them on there for me. And I used the Malone Sea Wings, as you can see. I put them on, and I'll show you that they have to be. You should perfectly align these along. And I use one of the contours of the roof of the car to align it up so it's straight. You don't want the kayak cockeyed, which it was the first time I drove it down the road at 50, 60 miles an hour, but it was okay. Okay, so you can see right there, that ridge, that's where I line up the sea wing so that the thread is just, you'll see how I'll show you when I'm done where I put the sea wings on. Okay, so that's how they're lined up. You can see these things are perfectly lined up now from front to back. So the first thing you want to do is to clean the back window of the car, because I'm going to use rollers. These are also by Malone, and you have to use these rollers to clear the spoiler. The spoiler is an issue because you really can't put any weight on it. You see, it's plastic and it flexes. So you got to get these rollers so that you can roll it up there and avoid the spoiler. But you have to wet down the rollers, the pad on the rollers, and also clean the window of the car a little bit so make it stick. And then I'll also wet down. And I keep this bottle of water in my car. I don't drink it, I just use it for this purpose. You can probably do it. I've done it without wetting them down, but it's a lot easier. And then you just put the rollers so that they're lined up. See, they don't really, I think the glass might be a little contoured and they don't stick real well. But if you work at it, you can get them to stick. There we go. Okay, now what I do is I put blanket I got from Harbor Freight. These are moving blankets. I use this to protect the top of the car, which I probably don't need, and I'll show you why in a moment. Okay, so I'm gonna go, you can see this thing in the shed. I made a device to help me load this on the car to keep it from sliding side to side. Hold on. And so what I did was I made this out of PVC, and it attaches to the roof rack through these slots. If you can see those slots right here. And I'll put a picture I'll show you a picture right now. Which shows you all the dimensions from center to center of all these tubes, and the depth of the slots, the thickness of the slots, so that if you want to build one yourself, and I'll actually give you a parts list as well. It's pretty easy to do. The hard part was figuring out the dimensions. So all you do is, you see the pads are facing down, so you know that this is the bottom of the unit. And I'm going to take these wing nuts off with the screws before I put it on. Then it's not very heavy, as you can see. Okay, so there you go. And what this does is it allows you to slide the kayak up here, and it keeps it from going side to side. Now, I've done this on windy days, and I was a little nervous without this, but this will keep the kayak from not falling, sliding off the side of the car, which has happened to me, not on this car, but on other cars when I tried the car top. So I'm going to just go show you in real time how long it takes me, so I get all this stuff out of my pocket here, how long it takes me to screw this thing on. It doesn't have to be real tight. I have to stand in the car to get the second one. It's kind of a tight fit in terms of the slots. I can't see what I'm doing here, but I can feel it. I got it in. So you can see, I'm not making it real tight, but you can see how tight this thing is. And it's tight enough to keep the kayak sliding side to side. So the next thing you need to do is to attach straps. It's easier to do this first. And I actually bought a set of straps because the straps that came with the Sea Wing are not big enough. So these are going to have to go around the top of the kayak, obviously. But I need to put them in first. Otherwise, because the kayak is it's a wide kayak, and it's going to sit on top of where the straps come through. It's going to be very difficult to get these through if you don't put them on before you put the kayak on the car. All right, so now let's get the kayak on the roof of the car. Take everything off the kayak. And the seat doesn't need to be on it either, so we're not going to. Okay, so now we're just going to put the kayak down, lift it up, onto the rollers, and you can see it really can't slide side to side. And the rollers are really probably a little too wide. So now we're just going to push it right up on over. What you can do to help you to lift it, if you don't want to, this is the string I'm going to use, or the rope I'm going to use to tie the kayak as a guy line. So you could use that to help lift it up. so you don't have to bend over. You got to be careful. This wants to slide over. What I do is I put this handle right between the two. And now this is done. We can take this off. And we can take this off. And then we just tie down here. And I'll show you what we do with the straps. That's good. All right, now to do the other one. That's just about where you want it. Maybe pull it up a little more. You really can't see what I'm doing here. I'm just putting the straps through. Now, one of the things you need to do, I don't know if you can see me doing this, rotate the straps, put some curves in them, like strands of DNA. I'll tighten them up, pull them on the inside. Now, the other thing I want to show you are these things here. I'm not going to do the front. These are for attaching your guy lines, and they're fantastic. So what you would do is open the trunk. This would hang out a little bit, and you tie it right to that. And I have, I use this line here. And of course this is off, this is off, this is off. And I have a piece of pool noodle I wrap around the line, and it goes right to this, ties up around this. This hangs out down here, and you just tie a knot like this, and it makes it tight. Oh, you would make it tight, of course. I didn't tighten it because it wasn't plugged in, but that's it. So. Well, while I got the kayak up here, you can see I put these scuff strips down here on the front as well. These kayaks are very thin-skinned, thin-walled, and if you don't do that, they could possibly make a hole in it, which I know has happened with this kayak with somebody else. I won't mention his name. So that's it. So again, the process, you can do the same thing in reverse. And I would leave that up there because I'll show you how I get it down in a moment. So let me undo the straps. I'm going to pull this back. Now you got to be careful here that it stays kind of straight. See how I went off the Sea Wing a little bit? I got to try to line it up so it's on the rollers. And I use this so I don't have to hurt my back bending over getting this to the ground. See how that's rolling to the side? And that's what those things are for. All right. So I'm glad I had that thing on there. And you just lift this up. That's it. So this actually, I showed you in real time how these things work, how it kept it from sliding off the car, basically. So thanks for watching, and now I'll take the Sea Wings off. I'll take this off. It doesn't take much time at all to do that. And of course this is also a Malone product. And again, I would stick with the ones from Malone. I ordered another pair. They were the same price. I got these from Cabela's, actually. It was cheaper than Amazon. The pair from Amazon were the same price, around 55 bucks. And they didn't work. It didn't raise it high enough to clear the spoiler. So make sure you use these. And these were the ones that were recommended by Travis Does Kayak Fishing or something like that. I'll put a link to his channel below as well. He's the one who showed me these things, but this is my contraption here to keep it from sliding side to side. I think if you had a V-hull kayak, you probably wouldn't need this because it would be aligned by the groove in the rollers and also the groove in the Sea Wing. But these fishing kayaks are too wide for that. And Sea Wings work though. So, all right, stay tuned for some fishing videos coming to your way soon. Thanks for watching.